Hello, this is Jim Shaughnessy working in conjunction with the Regional Training Center in Tulsa and today the Regional Training Center in Indianapolis. We're doing 3D motion analysis of Sajin Smith. Sajin is on the left. Novak Djokovic is the model on the right. I had to work very hard to find flaws in this backhand as it's very good. The numbers on the backhand look really good. For example, the ball velocity was good. The forward velocity of the racket tip was good, and the upward velocity could improve a little bit. Here we see the first thing we need to improve, which was we need to increase the upward velocity of the racket tip by 16%. So we'll start from the ground up here, and we're going to look at knee bend. And when we start to see knee bend, we see that Sajin is good. Now, anyone can see knee bend, but the question is how much is his upward velocity or his knee extension velocity? How much is he straightening his leg out? We see that that is also good at 227.87 degrees per second. We would also like to see Sajin widen his base or his step toward the net by 8 to 11 inches. Next, we're going to look at his hips. His hips are too open by 11 degrees. Once again, we're trying to get Sajin in the perfect position to improve his upward velocity. Hips don't improve upward velocity, but the positioning of the hips set the structure for the shoulders, and then the shoulders, which are connected to the humerus, which we will see later, has a lot to do with Sajin's upward velocity and the position of his body at impact. The muscles that twist the shoulders into the shot are connected to the hips, so the hips are opening up, which is pulling the shoulders too open as well. The shoulders are open 8 degrees too much at impact. Now we'll look at a measurement that's very hard to see for anybody and almost impossible to measure. And that's how far away your impact is from your center of gravity. Sajin needs to move 5 to 7 inches further away from the ball. This will give him more reach and more leverage to get even more power on his shots. It will require better shoulder strength to hold his arm up and away from his body. Looking at Djokovic and Murray's numbers, we see that Sajin could flex his arm and move it up and away 20 to 35 degrees away from his body. Now, right now, his velocity is very good, but the position he's reaching his peak velocity at impact is the bone is pointed down. So he's not really, that arc of the humerus is not going upward, it's just going forward. So he's really not helping himself with the upward velocity of his racket tip with his high-speed shoulder flexion when his humerus is pointed down. This is where Sajin is reaching his peak flexion of his humerus velocity. Notice it's pointed down. Our final point of improvement will come on the topic of elbow flexion. How much is Sajin's elbow bent compared to Murray and Djokovic? At impact, it's bent 40 to 41 degrees too much. This is to compensate for the lack of shoulder or upper arm flexion. Remember, that's different than elbow bend. This keeps Sajin from meeting the ball toward the net or earlier or more out in front, as it's sometimes called, than Djokovic. It also keeps Sajin from meeting the ball further to the side, which gives him more reach and more leverage. As we measured before, it needs to be 5 to 7 inches further to the side, further away from his center of gravity. Well, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for listening, Brian Smith, Director of the Regional Training Center, and thank you, Sajin. Your numbers are very, very good. Your backhand is already very, very good. So with these few minor changes, maybe we can get it up to elite levels. Good luck.